Peace will fill the world when we finally understand that only from within can it be spread throughout the land. Every single person living peace in what we do, only then will our dream come true. Only then will our dream come true. Only then will our dream come true.
Good morning, friends. I'm Leona Evans, minister at Unity of San Luis Obispo, an inclusive, progressive, spiritual community affirming the good in all life. Welcome to our Sunday morning live stream. It is New Year's Day, and so Happy New Year, everyone. We're going to do our transformational celebration of the new year today by setting goals and intentions. And we're also going to celebrate Kwanzaa with our very special guest, T. Esther Higgins. So right now, let's prepare for our time together. Let's begin by taking a deep breath and relaxing. This is a time where we want to awaken our mind and heart, relax our bodies, and pay full attention to the opportunities for transformation that we have here at Unity, and especially today. We give thanks that there's one presence and one power in the universe and in our lives, God the Good. We also give thanks that we were born in love and that through the divine process of evolution, we become more and more aware of our spiritual identity and our spiritual powers each day that passes. And so today is another opportunity to remember who we are. Let's take another deep breath and just relax. Become comfortable and anticipate this very powerful time together. Let us affirm our invocation statement together. I am now in the presence of pure being, immersed in the Holy Spirit of life, love, and wisdom. Once again, I am now in the presence of pure being, immersed in the Holy Spirit of life, love, and wisdom. And so it is. Amen. Let's open our service, as always, with a wonderful joy song performed by Matthew J. Evans.
Good morning. Today we're going to sing House on a Rock by Janet Manning. Please sing along with the lyrics on the bottom of the screen. I built my house on a rock, it's got a firm foundation, and I've got a principle within. I built my house on a rock, and it's a sweet sensation, knowing I'm free to love the world that I'm in. And I get up every morning with a song in my soul. I'm a child of God, therefore I'm well and whole. I built my house on a rock, it's got a firm foundation, and I've got a principle within. I built my house on a rock, it's got a firm foundation, and I know the truth that sets me free. I built my house on a rock, and it's a jubilation, knowing I'm meant to live so joyously. And I go out every morning with a spring in my step, doing what I ought to do with zeal and pep. I built my house on a rock, it's got a firm foundation, and I know the truth that sets me free. I built my house on a rock, it's got a firm foundation, and I see the good in everything. I built my house on a rock, and I'm a new creation, loving my winters 'cause they're followed by spring. And I look out in the morning on the world and I say, all the life I've yet to live begins today. I built my house on a rock, it's got a firm foundation, and I've got a principle within. And I know the truth that sets me free, and I've got a principle within. Have a great morning, everybody.
Thank you so much, Matthew. That was just lovely. Well, I am delighted to present T. Esther Higgins, dear friend and Unity family member, doing a presentation of Kwanzaa that she first did several years ago, and this was before we sold our church building on Orchid and Fernwood. It was such a lovely presentation that we've shared it on video every year since, and so I'm delighted that she will be sharing the information and inspiration about a powerful time of celebration, Kwanzaa.
Kwanzaa means first fruit of the harvest and is celebrated December 26th through January 1st. Created by Maulani Karangali in Los Angeles, California in 1966 during the Black Panther movement to honor African American people, our struggles in the United States, and our cultural heritage. Kwanzaa is not a religious holiday, but a time for family and friends, a day of celebration, and the seven principles and to celebrate and give gifts, which are called kawadi, preferably homemade gifts, and to light the lights and the candle on the Kinara so that the light of love can shine through. There are symbols that goes with Kwanzaa. First we have the Kinara. That's the most important symbol. The seven candles, colors, especially black, red, and green. We have a mat and colorful cloths, and a cup that is usually filled with water to represent a new beginning and life. Corn or maize, which can sometimes represent the number of children in their family, and other fruits and vegetables to represent the harvest. I will now light the Kinara. The black candle is lit first to represent the people. Kwanzaa is celebrated 7 days of the week, and every day a candle is lit to honor the seven symbols. The Kinara, or candle holder, is the most important symbol of Kwanzaa, and the seven candles are placed in the Kinara to represent each day of celebration and the seven principles of Kwanzaa. The mat, or imkani, is used as decoration where vegetables and fruit are placed to represent the harvest or abundance. Here's the corn, as I said, to represent the children, and the cup, or kimo bi cha umalja, represents unity. Daily a candle is lit. The black candle, the center candle, represent the unity of black people standing together and helping each other. This candle is lit first on December the 26th. The red candles represent your ancestry, slavery, struggles, blood, and especially our triumphs. The green candles on your right represents our hopes and dreams of the future. Each day we light a candle with family and friends and talk about the symbols and practice the 7 principles of Kwanzaa. The 7 principles are Umoja, unity, striving for togetherness with our families and our community. Kujiokagojlia, self-determination, deciding for ourselves who we are, who we want to be, and what we want to do. Ujima, work and responsibility, working together to build and strengthen our communities. Ujamaa, cooperation, building and supporting African American stores and businesses and benefiting from them. Nia, purpose, setting personal goals to make our communities strong. Kuimba, creativity, thinking of ways to make our community and the world a better place. Imani, faith, believing in ourselves, our community, and the people around us. Those are the 7 principles of Kwanzaa. And then on the last day, January 1st, we practice reflection. It's a quiet time to remember and to focus on the things that we learned the past year. But at the same time, we look forward to the future and to celebrate the things that are yet to come. We will now listen to the beat of the drum, and we will sway or dance to the rhythms of the drums in celebration of unity and faith in the holiday that we call Kwanzaa. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much to Esther. That was just lovely. Happy Kwanzaa. Well, let's take a moment now to transition to the celebration of our New Year time of setting goals and intentions. For many, many years, we did a burning bowl service at the New Year, and we would take a piece of paper where we had written our beliefs and attitudes that were old and negative that we didn't want to carry with us anymore. We placed them in the burning bowl and we watched the paper transform into ash. And we talked about the transforming power of changing the focus of our thoughts, sometimes referred to as changing our minds, but I like to think of it more directly. Changing the focus of our thoughts. Since energy can be neither created nor destroyed, just changed in form, we need to understand that we don't just throw away or get rid of our old habits and beliefs. We need to create from those unwanted attitudes a neutral energy in our consciousness that we can then focus on adding to the positive and powerful affirmations that we want to see manifested in the new year. And so when COVID started and we had to shelter in place, it wasn't possible for us to do a burning bowl. because the situation was so different. Also, when we sold our building, we stopped doing the burning bowl. And for the last several years, we have been working with a new framework, one that will help us key in to that which we desire to manifest and also that which we need to release before that manifestation can take place. But the truth is that one of the most challenging and mysterious issues that we deal with in our metaphysical teachings is how to change a habit. Of course, the new year brings all these issues to the forefront of our consciousness because it's traditionally the time when we're being asked to set our goals and intentions for the coming year. Although year after year we approach our New Year service believing that this time we'll succeed in changing our unwanted habits in favor of a new lifestyle. But after a while, our enthusiasm begins to wane, and we often lose interest in what we initially set out to do. Sometimes we think it's too hard. Sometimes we think maybe we don't deserve it or we're not meant to have it. But the fact is, too often we underestimate the work in consciousness that goes into making our resolutions and setting our intentions. So we tend to underprepare, and we wind up feeling overwhelmed when we're faced with an unwanted habit that's much harder to release than we expected. As a result, we feel as though we failed in our efforts to make the changes we desired, and we end up feeling bad about ourselves. Well, of course, that's not the intention. The intention is to get in touch with our inner powers, claim them, own them, and from that perspective of wholeness and prosperity, set our intentions and do what we need to do in terms of the work in consciousness until the manifestation takes place. So, today, I'd like to share some important ideas about our habit mind and what we're actually dealing with when we desire to set goals or intentions. Usually we think, why should it be so difficult to change a habit? Why can't we just say, this lifestyle, attitude, or belief is not good for me. I want things to be different, and then just make it happen. Well, I think we all know that while that can happen, too often those beliefs are so deeply rooted that it takes more than just an occasional affirmation to have that transformation take place. You know, great minds in science and psychology have been working on these ideas for years. And they have found that within our consciousness, there are many complex subpersonalities that often contradict one another. This means that, for the most part, there are certain aspects of our consciousness that want to make changes, and other aspects of self that need things to stay just as they are. Now, unless we're aware of some of these complexities, we'll delude ourselves into believing that these shifts in consciousness are much easier to accomplish than they really are. And we end up being disappointed in ourselves for failing to make those changes. Now, here's the thing. In unity, we are taught to look for the positive and make conscious efforts to encourage ourselves and others to believe in the highest and the best outcomes. But we need to be very careful to not slip into denial and believe that these outcomes will take place without effort or challenges, especially when we're dealing with the habit mind, or what we call our center of gravity. We'll talk more about that, and we will participate in our transformational New Year service after we hear some wonderful music from Brett Mitchell and Matthew J. Evans.
Here's a wonderful gospel song written at the turn of the last century by James Weldon Johnson. He did the words, and music by J. Rosamond Johnson. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7. Lift every voice and sing till earth and heaven ring with the harmonies of liberty. Let our rejoicing rise high as the listening skies. Let it resound loud as the rolling sea. Sing a song full of the faith that the dark past has taught us. Sing a song full of the hope that the present has brought us. Facing the rising sun of our new day begun, let us march on till victory is won. Stony the road we trod, bitter the chastening rod, fell in the days when hope unborn had died, yet with a steady beat have not our weary feet come to the place for which our fathers died. We have come over a way that with tears has been watered. We have come treading our path through the blood of the slaughtered. Out from the gloomy past till now we stand at last, where the white gleam of a bright star is cast. Shadowed beneath thy hand, may we forever stand, true to our God, true to our native land. True to our God, true to our native
Thank you so much, Brett Mitchell and Matthew J. Evans, for a beautiful rendition of that powerful anthem of freedom. Beautiful job. Well, we've been talking about goal setting that we traditionally do at the first of the year, our New Year resolutions. And let's face it, this is a topic for stand-up comedians, that there are things that we prepare for, we're absolutely certain we're going to manifest them, and then sometimes we actually forget that we set those goals. Sometimes our attention is drawn elsewhere, or we think it should have happened by now and we give up, or we're afraid that we maybe don't deserve it. We want to avoid that at all costs. And so, because there's been so much work done on the power of the mind, there have been some really interesting facts that have been discovered that help us understand how it is that we can be in conflict with ourselves. We've heard that term often. I'm having an inner conflict. One part of me wants this and another part of me wants that. Well, that is literally true. There are bodies of energy that occupy the spectrum of our consciousness, and we can actually be split down the middle. And once we decide that we want something and then realize that we don't, or we fear it for some reason, then there's a conflict in consciousness, and no manifestation is taking place because there's not enough energy behind it. There's a body of teachings called The Work by two philosophers called Gurdjieff and Ouspensky, Russian philosophers and metaphysicians who wrote and taught in the mid-20th century. They gave us an important framework about the human condition that describes the way our mind and body work. Now, the term human condition refers to the way we interpret who we are and what we're currently capable of accomplishing in our lives. In philosophical terms, when we discuss the human condition, we also discuss the possibilities for humankind and the way that we can get there from here. This framework or philosophy is referred to as the human condition. What are we dealing with now? The possibility, what can open up for us, and the way. How do we get there from here? It's a wonderful framework. Human condition, the possibility, and the way. For example, followers of traditional Christianity describe the human condition in terms of being flawed by nature. They view the possibilities as humanity being sanctified and blessed by God. And they see the way through salvation. However, Gurdjieff and Ouspensky had another philosophy, which is much more compatible with ours in unity, which is why many of us take the work of Gurdjieff and Ouspensky seriously and study the many aspects of their teachings. They taught that humanity is basically asleep to the power and potential within us. This is the human condition. We're simply not aware of who we are, and for all intents and purposes, we're asleep. What is the possibility? Well, they saw the possibility that humanity can awaken to our inner power and become fully functioning and capable of fulfilling our God-given potential. Now, how do we get there from here? What is the way? Well, they saw the way as conscious study of ourselves, physically, mentally, and emotionally, including our flaws and virtues, and continually working on awakening, becoming aware, alert to deeper levels of reality, particularly our habit mind, or what we call our center of gravity. Our center of gravity is a place in our consciousness which is comprised of habits and beliefs which we believe to be true about ourselves and the world around us. This is who I am, this is what I think, this is how I feel, I know myself. Now, because our center of gravity, or our habit mind, is so important to our status quo, our very existence, it occupies a central place in our consciousness and becomes threatened when it's disturbed or challenged. We feel that a part of ourselves is being taken away and our very identity is being challenged. And so when new teachings come along that challenge our old beliefs, a part of us feels energized, renewed, and filled with hope. We see the limitations of our old habits, and we're deeply excited about embracing these new ideas. A new way to see the nature of God, a new way to see ourselves, not as sinners and separate from our good, but made in love by the one presence and one power, made beautifully and marvelously by the divine energy that we call God. These are powerful ideas. However, the habit mind becomes threatened when faced with extinction, which is what eventually is going to happen through the power of transformation. The part of self that says I'm no good will be neutralized and transformed into I am enough. I am good enough. I am one with God. I am one with all life. I am one with my good. Now, when faced with extinction, the habit mind expresses strong resistance, really strong resistance. This resistance often surprises us because we didn't realize how deeply entrenched our habit mind has become. We underestimate the level of resistance and make an effort to ignore it. But as we well know, it won't be ignored. Unless we do the work in consciousness to transform key elements of our habit mind or our center of gravity, we will continue to be frustrated in our efforts to manifest newer and more positive ways of living on a long-term basis. Now, think about it. The teachings come along saying, you deserve to be prosperous. And our habit mind awakens. That's when it wakes up and says, what does that even mean? How do you put yourself on that kind of pedestal and say something like that? That doesn't even make sense. You'd be better off not listening to those teachings and come back here where it's safe and you know what life is like for yourself and for your future. But we say the teachings say that we can learn to feel prosperous, not on an ego trip, but through a recognition that we're one with God, we're one with Spirit, and we deserve the best. Well, now the habit mind is really feeling threatened because look at this other part of self that's so excited and so ready to let go of the past. And the past says, I'm not going anywhere because you're wrong. Look how many years we've felt this way and thought this way and believed this way. You think you're just going to come along with a flight of fancy and get rid of me? Not going to happen. And so the conflict in consciousness comes along. Our habit mind believes that it's struggling for survival. Our comfort zone feels so connected to its beliefs and its identity that it has no idea how the whole of us can be transformed into a much brighter, lighter, more loving way of living, including the energy invested in those negative thoughts. Now, I'm not saying that our center of gravity or habit mind is always negative, but it is, for the most part, quite limited and operates off the ego. It operates with information, true or false, that we've accumulated from the outside world. But for our intents and purposes, we believe that it's true. And we're very resistant to seeing proof that something else might have superseded that belief. So what do? We've got this beautiful teaching. We've got this resistant power within us. How do we let go of the power that we have given our habit mind? Transform that energy and embrace the new ideas. How do we do this? Well, our teachings tell us that it's through prayer and meditation, specifically denials and affirmations, which is a process of releasing and letting go of the power we've invested in certain ideas and affirming a higher reality. For example, I fully and freely release and let go of any belief that calls me unworthy of my good. And I embrace my divine attributes and affirm the presence of God within me. That's a denial and affirmation. I let go of the power I've given to this idea, and I affirm a higher truth, a greater truth. The denial from lack of attention will eventually starve. The thought will starve. It will neutralize, and we'll be able to use it to make stronger affirmations and have more powerful demonstrations of good. Along with denials and affirmations, and this is on a daily basis, many times during the day, we need to make a conscious effort on a continual basis to stay awake. Now, I know our habit mind says, I'm awake, I'm alert, I'm here, I know what's going on, you can't pull the wool over my eyes. And yet, the habit mind is hypnotized within its own beliefs. It renders itself unable to make changes because the ego feels that we know it all and we have nothing to learn. And if we do have it, we'll find out about it for ourselves and not listen to anybody else. Gurdjieff used to say that Scripture tells us Adam fell into a deep sleep, but nowhere does it say he woke up. This is our work, to come to a full awareness of the workings of our habit mind and to understand with wisdom and compassion how to transform our unwanted habit patterns and strengthen our positive goals and intentions. Not feed our fears, but feed our faith in our ability to know, to remember, to understand, and to make the changes necessary for us to know and embrace our true selves. The truth is, as I often say, we are spiritual beings learning to have a human experience. Now, our mission is to understand and accept both our flaws and virtues. Clearly, this is the work of a lifetime. But within us are the powers, the ones we celebrated on Christmas, and that we can celebrate every day of our lives. Within us are the powers we need to accomplish our work on a daily basis. Now, in the next few moments during our time of meditation today, we will take 2 pieces of paper, and on one, we'll write the goals that we want to set for the coming year, beginning with the words, I affirm and give thanks for, and then list your goals one at a time. Try to make them as specific as possible and realize that this is something that you are now looking at as an idea, which you will eventually see as a manifestation. Now, on the other sheet of paper, list all of the habits and old negative beliefs that we want to release that are keeping us from manifesting our goals. Now, on this sheet of paper, you will want to begin with the words, I now let go of the power I have given to, and then list the habit patterns and beliefs you need to release. Now, instead of burning the second sheet as we used to do, I ask you now to staple or clip the 2 sheets together. Keep it in your pocket or purse every day. Put a copy next to your bed, and throughout the day repeat the denials and affirmations you have written. I fully and freely accept the good. I release and let go of all that does not conform to that good. Now, the transformation will be taking place without burning the paper, but by repeating the process on a daily basis and continuing to remind yourself that you have what it takes to make this transformation in consciousness and to see your goals manifested. Write what you want to see manifested. Write what ideas or beliefs stand in the way. Keep looking at those sheets, reading them, knowing that you are in a process of shifting your center of gravity and creating more energy to put into the positive and powerful ideas. Let's relax now and put this process to work. Let's take a deep breath now as we enter into our time of spiritual transformation on this new year. Prepare yourself to list the things you want to accomplish. Recognize that when you make an affirmation, there is a foundation of power from which all things come. Now take one sheet of paper and write these words. I affirm and give thanks for, and you fill in the rest. What do you want to experience in your life? Is it greater peace of mind, more energy, clarity, guidance? Write it down. If you need more time, just take a moment to pause the video and then resume when you're ready. Now, on the second sheet of paper, make a list of all the outworn beliefs that no longer serve your highest good. Write on the page, I now let go of the power I have given to, and then list those beliefs that are ready for transformation. Do we want to release impatience, fears, resentments? Take your time and write all that you are willing to release. When you are finished, just sit back and know that this is a new beginning of the most important time in your life. Hold on to these pages, make copies, speak them every day. And give thanks for the miracle of change and your willingness to be an active part of it. We give thanks in the name of the living Spirit of truth. And so it is. Amen. Thank you for participating in this powerful transformational process. If you like, we would be happy for you to put your name and email on our website, unityslow.com, and we will put you on our prayer list and continue to affirm with you that which you want to experience. unityslow.com. Just put your name and email. We'll include you in our weekly e-newsletter, and you will know that people are there for you, praying with you, affirming what you want. It's time now in our service to bless the offering that we would share. So let us take the offering that we would share with Unity of San Luis Obispo, or picture it in our minds and encircle it with love. The law of attraction works this way. As you give, so shall you receive. As you give in love, you receive 30, 60, 100 times more than you have given. What you focus on, what you give your attention to, what you bless, multiplies. And so please consider sharing your year-end gift with Unity of San Luis Obispo. The information is on our website, it's on our Facebook page. A portion of all of our tithes that we receive goes to celebrating and honoring the human spirit and equal rights and the preservation and nurturing of our planet Earth. Let's speak the words of our prosperity affirmation together. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I give and all that I receive.
Here is a great song by Richard Inman, who used to be the musical director here. And it's called Now is the Time. Now is the time for love between us, daughters and sons of the Father. Now is the time for our love to sail more than the stars above, more than the earth below. The Father gives us love. Now is the time. Let it show. Now is the time for love. Now is the time for truth between us, daughters and sons of the Father. Now is the time for the truth to sail more than the thoughts we run to, more than what we believe. The Mother gives us truth. Now is the time for us to see. Now is the time for truth. Now is the time for peace between us, daughters and sons of the Father. Now is the time for our peace to sail more than you or me, more than the distance we find. The Father gives us peace. Now is the time to let it shine. Now is the time for peace. Now is the time for our new thinking, daughters and sons of the Father. Now is the time for great thoughts to say, more than the stars us new life. Now is the time to help it grow. Now is the time for new life. New life, a new life to shine. Richard Inman wrote that several years ago, and I'm just blessed to be able to do it for you. Thank you, Matthew.
Thank you, Brett. That was great.
Thank you so much, Brett Mitchell and Matthew J. Evans, for that beautiful interpretation of Richard Inman's song. Let's sing our peace song, shall we?
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, a peace that was meant to be. With God as creator, united all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every breath I take, let this be my joyful vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me.
And now let's speak the words of our prayer for protection together. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is. Friends, please remember to press the like button and share your comments with us. We really appreciate hearing from you. Even though you don't get a chance to converse with one another on the latest Facebook change, we get your comments and we respond, and we appreciate them very much. Also, please listen to our Get Off Your Affirmation podcast. Matthew and I share wonderful, powerful conversations about fascinating topics that I know you'll enjoy. Happy New Year. Have a wonderful week. You deserve it.
Every single person living peace in what we do. Only then will our dream come true. Only then will our dream come true. Only then will our dream come true.